and that's okay. And we're back with the GoPro. The audience in the podcast world, though, has just heard that little technical difficulty. Patrick Orr,
Josh.
thank you for joining me for this LaBoogie podcast, a sunset podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Stoked.
No worries at all. Hey, is this your first ever podcast episode?
First podcast episode for sure. Yeah, I've never really done an interview where somebody sat me down and interviewed like a individual interview. So I remember one time I did one at my house by myself.
Right. Talk about that, because I started to laugh before. So what's this all about?
Yeah, I just like got a message on Facebook one day. This guy's like, "Hey man, here's some questions. Record yourself with these questions and then send them back to me."
Yeah.
I think his name is like Chris or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and I did that, and he posted it, and I was like, "Oh wow, that actually happened." So
This might have been Lid Life.
exactly, live
Yeah,
like
Chris Martin.
Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's throw a couple of these his way. He's doing a great job. He's really reaching out and getting some stuff done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Big shout out. Big shout out.
Big guy.
So how was it awkward just to kind of record your own answers to your own questions?
Definitely, yeah. It was like, I was like, what am I doing? I'm just talking to myself in my phone, and then listening to myself after was kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
I was like, well, give it a go.
You do it enough times, you get used to it though. Like with LaBoogie, I like to go live as much as possible, you know, because I think it's cool to be in the moment with people, and
Definitely.
that's what this social media stuff's really awesome with. So when I go live, I kind of feel that awkwardness as well, because I'm kind of like, but there is that little bit of feedback there. You do see the people joining, so you do actually know that there is someone out there listening. It's not just you, but
Exactly.
it's a funny phenomenon to be selfie mode and just recording that kind of stuff. So
It's
I
interesting.
understand.
Definitely.
Have you've listened to a few of the podcasts, haven't you?
Yeah, I listened to Tristan's. That's about it,
Oh,
really.
what the fuck? I thought you were like a full-on listener.
I just got my iPhone back.
God.
Funny thing,
No excuse.
you were talking about Instagram Live. I
Yeah.
broke my waterproof phone trying to go on Instagram Live back home. Like
Really?
it was flat. I was longboarding, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take my Android phone out there," and then freaking the thing died. So
All right.
it didn't work out.
He's got a good enough reason for not having listened to every single episode twice.
Right.
So we're here in Brazil. You're actually you qualified for the top 24 last year, and was that your second year of kind of having a crack on the qualifying series, or kind of trying to get up into the main event stuff?
Yeah, that was the second year
Cool.
consistently going. Like 2018 was 2017 and 2018 was the
Yeah.
full run, and then before that I just did Tahiti and Arica in 2016.
Exactly. We've got the wind blowing the GoPro here.
Yeah,
So
the wind
stiff
picked
breeze.
up.
Okay, so and you did Tahiti and Arica the year before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what did you finish last year in the qualifying series?
Sixth.
Sixth.
Yeah.
Right.
So 6 out of 8. Funny, because like my whole life I've always seems like the number 6 sticks with me. I don't
really?
know why
Okay.
that is, but it happens.
That's
Just
cool.
Interesting coincidence. Yeah.
Not a bad number. It's close enough to 1.
Yeah, it's good enough for me.
It's not as bad as 99 or something like that. Okay, so how did it feel to finally crack that? You know, like I know what it felt like when I qualified back onto the tour, and it was cool. It felt great. How did it feel for you?
Surreal. You know, we're like standing in Portugal at that bar, Zula. Yeah, that's right. And everybody's there, and they're like, "Oh, Patrick Orr, 6th, you made it." And I'm just like, "Oh man," you know, and right in
Sick.
front of all my idols, my
Sick.
friends, you know, everybody like that. So it was just a great feeling, especially like going back home and then being like, "Yeah, Mom and Dad, I did what I said I was gonna do." Not,
Sure.
You know, like it's pretty
You went
amazing.
bumming around. Bit of bumming around, but also getting competition results.
Yeah, no, it's good to be like just a traveler, you know, go and
Yeah.
get into the culture and
Yeah.
see what's happening.
That's sweet. What was your kind of best stop on the tour last year? Like, what did you really enjoy on that journey towards qualification?
I think I had the most, like, the highlight had to have been in like Portugal for sure, just surfing
Okay.
Nazaré. Even though I didn't make it into the main event, which,
Right.
you know, I'm never really extremely bummed about it because you can't let it get you too low.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
That was like the most fun because we had firing waves pretty much the whole time, and it was
Yeah.
just the boys and going back and forth, you know, from
Sick.
Viana to Sintra, and then, you know, all over the place.
Good trip, huh?
Yeah.
That was a
like,
really nice leg too. I had a great time last year. I missed Sintra, but I did enjoy Vienna for the first time, and it's amazing. Bodyboarding's quite strong in that country, right? Like, it's kind of interesting. It still has its strength there.
Yeah, they're really adamant about having contests, and like for the youth, you know, it's like they're all the legend bodyboarders seems to like have gotten their share out of the you know, media and whatever for themselves, so they're all about like helping the youth and stuff getting to the next level, because that's what it seems like it's kind of what we're lacking in Hawaii. Like not quite, but like at the same time, and in the USA it seems like bodyboarding is taking a different turn than other countries, you know.
It's always been hard in the US, but let's talk about home. Let's use that as an opportunity to go home. So where exactly is home?
Home for me is Hilo, Hawaii, on the Big Island. It's like on the northeast. Kind of looks like a boomerang.
Oh, really?
There's like one point here, one point there, and then there's like two like wider points on the island. I live on the northeast side, and that's home to me pretty much my whole life since I was 3. Yeah. I was born in San Diego, California.
Okay, so you're born on the mainland.
Yeah, I moved to the Big Island in this one place called Keaukaha when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Just right onto the beach, pretty much. My parents rented a house. It's funny, I tell this to a lot of people, and I'm like, I'm still on vacation because my parents bought round trip tickets to go back to the mainland after, and they pretty much were like, no, we're just gonna stay here. My parents both got jobs, just part-time, and then
so they got a return ticket they never used, basically.
Never used.
That's amazing.
So it's like I'm just like still on vacation, you know.
That's rad. That's rad. And your parents are still on the island as well?
Yeah, they're still there. They have a business there, and my sister works with them. My brother goes to school.
Cool.
And yeah, that's pretty much home for me. Like, I'm quite the family man, I have to say. Like, I don't go out and party and stuff. Like, I have my fair share of hanging out with the boys, you know, but like pretty much just working to get here.
Yep.
Because like last year I had a couple times where I was short on money and stuff, and like I was pretty motivated after Pipeline, you know, $0 in my bank account, and I'm like, how am I gonna get to South America with this, you know? And I just like got like 3 jobs right when I got home, and I just was like, okay, I did that, and now I just gotta stick with it and keep making money and stuff.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it's just like stoked to be here, honestly, because a couple months ago I was like, oh man, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. But yeah, it's
tough, man, and I think a lot of riders have the same challenges as you do with that. What kind of jobs do you do when you're home? What were the 3 jobs you took on to get here?
Okay, so one of them I don't have anymore.
Okay.
Shout out to Island Naturals on the Big Island. You guys are a great store. I worked in the back as a cook. My shift was 5:45 a.m. to 3 every single, like 4 days out of the week, you know.
Wow.
And then that got me my plane ticket here, basically. Cool. And I left because of family. Everybody's doing their own thing, and I needed to be at the house more. So then I work at a land surveying company. My boss, Dan Berg and Logan and everybody over there, Jeff Ross, you guys are legends.
Yeah.
Like since 2016, I've had that job, and he understands how it is to be a surfer and follow your dreams. You know, they always tell me at home, they're like, we're like living vicariously through you, and I'm just like, that's cool, you know. Like, I send them pictures and stuff.
Sick.
And stoked, and they basically let me work when I come home, and then let me go again when I come back. So
cool. And what's the 3rd job?
I work at a restaurant called Cafe Pesto as a busboy. It's honestly the best restaurant we have in Hilo, one of them for sure.
Cool.
Everybody loves it. Yeah, shout out to you guys. All my managers are super cool, and I've learned a lot just like working as a busboy, you know, taking people's plates and stuff, how to like deal with people and whatever. I'm stoked on it, man.
It's very front line, that job.
Yeah.
So, but what's interesting for you, you actually get the experience of being back in the kitchen making the food, and you've actually got the experience of dealing with the people on the other side who have enjoyed the food or not, or, you know, whatever that looks like.
Exactly.
But it's the best restaurant in Hilo, so they're always enjoying the food. So
it
goes without saying.
Gotta get those foods.
Yeah, exactly. But that's interesting. So, like, you've been grinding to get here.
Basically, yeah.
And the sponsorships that you have, who are your current sponsors?
Got Hardy Shapes, shout out. Reflex Wetsuits, Coco Aloha Surf, Miller's Surf on the west side of the Big Island.
Cool.
One of my uncles, Jerry, he has a Country Builders Hawaii.
Okay.
Viper and Gyro.
Cool.
They've been helping me all along. Mike and Norm and everybody, like, they're legends.
Cool.
Yeah, honestly, like, I've kind of just pulled help with sponsors from like different aspects of life. Like,
yeah,
you know,
sweet.
Like just meeting people and then talking with them and just telling them what I'm all about, you know, like I tell them I have jobs, I'm gonna go and do this, and then if you guys could just supply me with what are the necessities for being at the beach, you know, sunscreen, boogie board, fins, shirt, you know, hat. Oh, at Bombers eyewear, I forgot. Thank you, Wally, and everybody on the Bombers team. Sweet. You guys are awesome. Yeah, like basically the necessities, and then try to be minimal with that, you know, like.
Yeah, sure. Well, it certainly helps, doesn't it? Because, like, at the end of the day, those things do cost money if you're going to have to buy them yourself. And and it kind of seems to be the case that there isn't a lot of money up for grabs from kind of sponsors these days. So having a job's kind of part of the deal.
Exactly. Yeah, like I would love to make bodyboarding my job to the point where I'm traveling and then making money at every single event or this and that. But literally, you come here and you spend your money to. Well, now that I'm in the top 24, it's great. It's my dream come true because, you know, I get to like be in the main event. And for the past 2 years, we've been doing trials and stuff. So.
Exactly, and it gives you that one step closer to the money. To be honest, in these events, you know, not that there's a huge amount in it, but there's certainly that. You know, this year we've got prize money back to 24th. So, you know, like it's actually pretty good.
To you,
well,
you know,
yeah,
it
was hard fought, but yeah, took a bit of convincing.
For sure.
But yeah, for me, it was very much, maybe people don't know this on the podcast, but I'm the riders rep for the APB, for the riders. And, you know, there's a lot of back and forth between us as riders amongst ourselves and also with the guys kind of administering the sport. But I think one thing that we managed to do this year so far and was just to get a few decisions made that we all kind of had our arguments about and had our kind of opinions about, which is cool. But we managed to get some things done, and one of those was to make a more equitable spread of prize money from first back to 24th. Yeah. Recognising that it costs a lot of money to be here, so let's try and get some of that money back in the pockets of the guys at the tail end of the results. So, not that you and I are going to finish 24th.
No.
All right.
Let's put that there.
All right. We can split first and second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but it's really cool that you managed to rustle that up to get here. What has been? I mean, this is kind of like your first year in the main event stuff, but like coming onto the tour in the last couple of years, like what was the most surprising thing to you that you learnt about this life that you didn't know before you kind of got more involved with this professional bodyboarding stuff? Like, what was a surprise? Was there anything that surprised you?
I wouldn't say it's really a surprise, but I learned right away that it's just experience over money most of the time, you know? Like, we all pay our money to get here, but then we wouldn't have had the experience we had while we're here if we didn't come to do bodyboarding. Like, and that, you know, that surprised me because then I go home and then I make all this money and I think, well, what if I just stayed here and sat on my money? And it's like, no, I'd rather go and experience the world, even if, you know, we don't have amazing waves right now, even like in Brazil, but we still get to go and chill with the locals in the town, in the house, you know, and it's really amazing. And that's what surprised me is that at first I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go make some money, and you know, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna go make experiences with people, like even right now.
Yeah, this is one.
This is one. First time.
Sunset podcast.
Yeah, so.
So that's cool. That's cool. And has there been anything that's disappointed you about this professional sport? You know, like has there been anything you're like, damn, that kind of sucks?
Well, I don't want to get too negative about it, but like, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I don't think anybody got paid in Tahiti for the 2017 contest.
Well,
something like that.
You did pretty well there, didn't you?
Yeah, I got equal 5th.
That hurts.
Or 9th. What did I get? I got 9th. Yeah, sorry. But I lost to Mike Stewart. It's like inside.
That's a good loss.
Yeah, inside bowl choked, and I just kind of, you know, that moment when it's like it's really surreal. You're like watching Mike, and you have priority, and he's just taking off without priority, and you're like, fuck, what did I just do? You know? So stuff like that. Like
he hypnotized you though. That's not fair. He must have cast a spell on you.
It was just like
fucking Mike
Stewart, a legend.
Yeah, but it's a nice loss.
Yeah, it was a good learning experience. It's like that's priority for you, and if you don't use it, that's what's gonna happen. So,
okay, so some of the negativity has, like, not the negativity, but that is a setback, you know, to compete, to travel all that way, and then the prize money never to be paid.
But it always comes back in a return, you know, in some way. Like,
Sure.
I'm not too bummed. Like, I got 2 of the best waves of my life in that contest, so it's like, I'm not too bummed at all, really. Like,
Chopa's a special place as well, you know. Like, I had the good fortune to compete there twice in 2002 and 2003. 2002 was quite small, but still super fun. 2003 was more solid. It's when Kingy won the comp. And I mean, that's some of the memories from that day are just like, it's just crazy.
Unreal.
It's unreal, yeah. Like, it's such an intense place.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
So much energy out there, and so much like, it's kind of like you're in a battle arena, right? Everyone's in the channel in the boats, and they're just like yelling at you when the sets come, and you're like, this set's coming, I've got to do something.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty full on, huh?
Yeah, like being out there, because Mike told me where to sit. It was like, oh, line up with the boat and the mountain. And
In your heat?
Not in my heat.
Okay, I was going to say
the
with
heat
him.
Before ours.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was a different day. They had it on different days and stuff. But like, yeah, just being out there, like Angelo Ferrari. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. But yeah, he caught a wave. He was the first guy to catch a wave in the heat, in my heat. And I was like, yeah, go for it. It's your wave. You know?
Yeah.
And then the wave after came through, and I got a good barrel. And both the waves I got, I was out there by myself. It felt like I was just in the biggest, deepest part of the ocean, just like sitting there like, all right, well, now there's boats and there's people, and like you come out of the barrel and everybody's cheering and stuff. And I've never had that in my life, like coming from the big island, which is still a pretty small island for an island or a place to live, you know. Like, of course you have your friends cheering you on, but usually it's just you and and your friends still out there waiting for a wave, and you come out of the barrel and it's just your reaction, you know. So that was pretty surreal for me. Like, I didn't realize that people would get so psyched off of just another person getting a wave, you know. Like,
totally.
Because like if I get a wave like that at home, I'm just like, oh, that happened, all right, and then time to go to work, you know.
Less hooting.
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny. Hey, I think maybe it's getting too dark for the video element here, so I reckon we need to relocate up to one of the beach bars.
I'm down.
Let's try and keep recording as we relocate though, because I think that's just fun to try and achieve this as a podcast. So
new things.
Yeah, new things. You hold the phone because that's where all the action takes place. Don't walk away from me too quickly because we're connected by these microphones.
This is fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna just fill my little bag up here with all the other goodies that I carry around with me.
Yeah.
But the funny thing on that Chopu question, because that experience, it's interesting to hear about that perspective of yours, because I remember the same thing. But my story's kind of funny there because I got one of my, you get one of those big waves at Chopu, and it's like you're kind of surprised that you survived it, you know, like it's kind of that kind of wave. So I had one of those big waves, which is just like, you know, oh my God, I'm paddling into this wave and I'm like committed to this now, and it's freaking intense. And I remember just like hooking in, and I'm like, whoa, you know, there's a big one. And
it's a big one.
There's a big one. And I come flying out of it, and Kainoa was in the he was in the channel.
McGee?
Yeah, Kainoa McGee.
That's epic.
And he's yelling, as Kainoa does in those moments of like pure stoke. So let's try and keep this going as we walk up. So he's yelling, and then you know, I've come out, and there's been a bit of cheering. That's nice. So I got that nice experience that you're talking about. And then and Kainoa goes, "You should have hit that, bro." And I was like, fuck, you fucking hit it, you know, like, it was a big wave at Chopu. It's like, who hits the end bowl there on a big wave? You just kind of escape into the channel and just glad you survived, you know. But no, it was a funny memory to have him yelling at me as I came out of that barrel. So no, a really good memory.
That's classic.
He actually very nearly won that event. He came second that year. Yeah,
that's epic.
No, it was really cool. So we actually, how's the way we spun that negative
big spider,
that negative experience into positive Chopu talk, which is really fun.
But go with the positivity.
Exactly.
Always. That's my thing.
Exactly.
Peace, love, positivity.
Exactly. So one of the other things that you do, and I think I've already harassed you about adding this into the end of this podcast episode, is you like to make music.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Basically, the thought came from, I see all right, the first initial thing was like, all right, every time I post something on Instagram, they try to take my video down because it's not my music, you know?
Ah, sure.
So I was like, okay, I've got GarageBand on my iPad. I was like, I'm just
Sick.
gonna go mess around and try to make some stuff.
Yeah,
So
right.
I actually started like a year ago to this date, and like, I kind of did some research and dug deeper about my friends who were into music as well. And
Should we go past the trash can here?
oh yeah,
So yeah, so you did some research with your musical friends.
just trying to see who's making music, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, car.
Oh, cars.
That's fun.
Just dodging traffic and podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did a bit of research.
Did some research on my friends and noticed they're all using YouTube beats.
YouTube beats.
Yeah, like people put up instrumentals on YouTube and you can go and you can download it and make a song out of it.
So they're just welcoming that, like that's like a free service that people are doing.
Exactly.
Wow,
Some
I'm learning things now.
Yeah.
This is great.
So some producers don't like it, and
Oh.
but some don't care.
Okay,
Same
cool.
time, so,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm
How's
not
it?
there.
You.
Hey,
Yeah, brother.
just doing a podcast. Yeah,
Doing
cool,
a
man.
podcast, yes, sir. Yeah,
You're in
brother.
it. You're in the podcast now.
You.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna sit down and have a little drink here. Should we get a little bit of light? How about this? This
Yeah,
table
yeah.
looks pretty good, eh?
Definitely.
So you grab that chair. I'll grab this one, and we will see if we can seamlessly transition
Definitely.
the podcast to a nice little beach bar. I forget the name of this one.
I don't even know.
But it's a cool one. They do not a bad sandwich or hamburger here.
Uh-huh.
So let's just start.
So yeah, I pretty much just really enjoy making music for my friends.
Yeah.
One of the guys, Dr. Timmons, I've known him since like middle school. I didn't know his passion for music until recently, and it's been really nice working with him and a few other people. And a lot of people have been using my beats for their Instagram videos too, which is cool. Like I send it to like Jacob Romero. Shout out to Jacob, you the man. And yeah, that's where I've just pretty much started. And that's where I'm kind of trying to take it, give people music, and then hopefully get a
Rad.
return in the future. You know, like
Rad.
I don't expect money out of it right off the bat. But
No,
like,
but it's a good thing to do. I mean, I do the podcast for free. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's. I've only just started to kind of talk to people. I did a little live today, just kind of saying that I'm just going to do the donate button. If people want to donate to it,
yeah,
thanks.
exactly.
That's nice. Whatever. Like, you know, that's where it's at for me. I think it's good if people feel like paying for something.
Yeah,
Like, I think it's cool. It's like, okay, you feel like paying for it. Yeah, great. If you want to pay for it, pay for it.
exactly.
So that's cool. But were you a musical guy like originally, or did it really just come out of that necessity of you just getting sick of people pulling like Instagram saying you've stolen this music?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I've always listened to music my entire life. Like
Yeah.
I grew up with my parents, classic rock,
Yeah,
more heavier rock, you
Yeah,
know,
sure.
old school stuff with Bob Marley,
sick.
some like jazz music and classical. My dad was really about the classical music. Like,
Okay.
we would hate on it too, me and my siblings. We would be in the
Hating
car on the way to school and they'd be like, my dad's like, no, we're listening to this, like NPR. I don't know if you've ever heard of NPR.
Yeah.
We listened to that a lot growing up.
I listen to NPR podcast, a few podcasts by NPR, but not the classical music station. But I'm probably going to start following it now as a
Yeah,
result.
man. So that is what I grew up on, all sorts of stuff.
Sick.
Pretty broad spectrum.
Ah, that's rad.
And then I would always go to like my friends' houses and they have older brothers, older siblings and
Yeah.
stuff. And I would give them my iPod and be like, can you please download some of your music onto here?
Yeah,
I
sure.
need some new stuff. I kind of listen to my dad's old CDs all the time.
Sweet.
And then from there, I just learned about all this different rap artists, different, you know, like dubstep, all this
Sick.
awesome music that's out there. And then from
Yeah.
there, I knew what good music was. I'm not a professional music player. I knew the sound for like good music.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, all right, if I can make a beat that has similar effects and people are like, oh, this is cool, like I would show it. I didn't put anything out for like half a year because
Yeah.
I was just like focused on trying to get people's attention and like
Yeah.
ask them, hey, how's this sound and stuff. And after a while, me and my friends would play something around people and then they'd be like, whoa, did
Yeah.
you make this? And then I'd be like, yeah. So just getting people's reactions off of it, and then that's what built my confidence to be like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll ask this artist if they want a beat, or ask this person if they want to use it in their video. And ever since then, it's been like a positive uphill from there.
That's great.
Like, yeah.
So you've been really up for getting the feedback along the way.
Exactly. Like one time I posted something on Instagram comment, just an Instagram comment, like, hey guys, go check out my music and my SoundCloud. Would appreciate some feedback, just to a random page, And this one guy sends back a emoji, the guy throwing trash in the trash bin.
Oh, fuck off.
No, yeah. And I was like, immediately I kind of was like, no, I asked for feedback. It's not like I asked for a certain type of feedback. I was just like, hey, this is what's up. And I just liked the comment and said, thanks for listening, man, with a shaka emoji. Like I wasn't gonna
You're a nice guy.
I wasn't about to ruin my day over asking for, feedback. So like that's pretty much how I've taken it. Like, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing that surprised me about this contest stuff. Like, you cannot take any of it personally.
Yeah.
At all.
Totally.
Like, on the beach, like, yeah, we're all friends and stuff. But then, like, you get into the water and you gotta be like, all right, well, they're my friend, but at the same time, we're here for the same reason.
Don't beat his ass, though.
Exactly. Like, every day, or when we're all hanging out together, you're like, and I'm gonna be the winner.
Yeah.
It's just like that kind of stuff.
That's it. You won't be it if you don't believe it.
Exactly.
And, there are some, look, it's definitely a psychological game as much as it is a physical one and an ability one, because the best riders don't always win comps. So it's an interesting approach. But yeah, and I agree with you. This tour, it is a lot nicer than when I first did the tour back in the day, because I just find that there's a lot more, everybody is a lot more, not that people were unfriendly back then, but there was more there's a bit more separation between different camps, you could say.
Sure.
Whereas now it's a bit more kind of open and everyone's like, yeah, cool, let's just go surfing and have fun and stuff. But that bodyboarding's too small to have really serious rivalries that are really damaging or negative. So that was a really positive thing. Cool. We've just got through the music career, and that's great. I'm going to chuck in. You're going to supply a little. Did I manage to convince you that you're going to we can embed one in the end so people can check it out? We'll have some links in the show notes to Pat's SoundCloud, right? You do this on?
Yeah, SoundCloud.
Is it just your name on SoundCloud, or do you have like a DJ name?
It's Prod by Pat. Like,
Prod by Pat.
Yeah, just a simple thing like that with my name. Yep, got a bodyboarding photo on the front.
There you go.
Easy to find for sure.
Check it out.
Yeah.
But you'll listen to some at the end of the podcast. So let's get back to the Big Island again. Like, you and I were talking last year, I think, when we were hanging out somewhere, and I learned that you're not only like working 3 jobs, making your own music, obviously bodyboarding as much as possible, but you also plant fruit trees and stuff. Or like, so what's that all about? Tell the listener, the viewer, what exactly are you working on back there?
All right. So when we moved here, this feels like home. But like, when I moved to the Big Island with the family, we around 10 years old, my parents bought 7 acres of property, just completely barren. And ever since then, we've planted, like, I've just been in the yard with my dad, like, just planting trees, helping build things, helping, like, deconstruct things, just, like, all that. So, like, from that kind of, like, growing up, now me and even my sister and brother, Carolyn and Micah, are helping my dad, like, plant all sorts of trees. Like, we all go out, like, randomly and just buy a tree. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of a soursop or, like, a graviola.
I've heard of graviola, yeah. Okay.
What about mangosteen?
I have heard of that too.
Yeah, mangosteen is like my favorite fruit.
I've heard this,
It's like kind of a crusty outside, and you break it open, and it's like this white, like, kind of gelatin stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we just planted those before I left, so I get to see when they come back. But we have, like, all sorts of stuff, like palm trees, so much fruit trees, papaya. There's so much, and we don't sell it.
You don't sell it?
No.
Is that a plan in the future once you really build it up with so much variety?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you start to flog it off.
Made the connection to Island Naturals, so maybe I'll go there. I've already sold a few things, before when I didn't have it. I was working at Pizza Hut only.
Yeah,
I was actually at a farmer's market every Tuesday selling fruit.
Yeah, right.
On the side of the road with all, like, the Filipinos and, like, all the different people that live in Hawaii, just farmers, basically.
Sick.
Selling whatever I found in my yard. Like, I found out that breadfruit is a pretty, like, ulu. Dave Hubbard's all about the ulu.
He loves it, yeah.
And we have a humongous ulu tree. Got to top it, actually, so it doesn't get too big, because they kind of fall and they go splat when they land.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so the gravity, you don't want them to reach, like, what's the term? Terminal velocity. You don't want it to reach terminal velocity. You need it to not, what is it, 9.8 meters per second per second, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't reach terminal velocity, so you got to keep it low.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the, and that was a surprise, people were actually really keen to buy the breadfruit.
Yeah, they were like, oh, $5 a pound, and each breadfruit is like more than a pound usually. So I made a decent amount of money on one season.
Sick.
Like, we have star fruit too. I don't know if
Star fruit?
Yeah, love
Rad.
star fruit. Really juicy, great
Rad.
for all sorts of stuff, juices and
Cool.
But yeah, like for me, that it's like a peaceful thing. You know, it's like therapy. Me and my friend Wyatt at home talk about it. He's a custodian at a school and he does a lot of yard work.
Yeah.
So I was also doing yard work as another job, but like
How many jobs have you done, dude?
I don't even know. A bunch. But like, yeah, you go out in the yard, you put on your music, and then you just have at it. You get to do what you want with the land, and then you just like I do the yard at my house all the time, mow, weed eat, all like helping pick up all these dead plants and branches and stuff.
Sure,
So like,
sure.
yeah, I've just kind of been involved in like helping out in the yard and plants and stuff like that.
Sick.
Pineapples. We have a lot of pineapples.
Sounds like the Garden of Eden, dude.
I love my
I think
home.
it's rad, and like if you could, just in the background, everyone, you can see that's two of the three amigos just heading off to dinner. Gonna join them in a second.
Yeah.
If you could actually make enough money off this fruit and vegetable lifestyle, would you just do that?
No.
No. Interesting. What would you do?
I would still do what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Yeah, like-
Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase it. Wow, the wind's picking up. Maybe we will have surf tomorrow. This
Yeah.
is like a good sign,
That's
right?
what Joao was saying.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
It's been flat for days. You'd still be bodyboarding, of course, but working the 3 jobs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Would you still do all that, or would you just like go, okay, I'm just going to grow fruit and sell it?
If I could support myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like I could be at home all day and have my own schedule. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I could be my own boss with selling farmed fruit, organic farmed fruit from our farm, I would. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So how far away is it, do you think, the land until it's ready to kind of potentially provide that outcome for you if you wanted to really dig in?
So there's a funny term I always hear, or like a quote. It's like, the time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're really.
That's a really good line. That's really funny.
Yeah, it's it takes time. It's not
Yeah.
like the tree's just gonna grow overnight. And
Nah.
then yeah, like I've started a lot of stuff from seed, so it's still getting to a point where it's gonna have fruit in like 5 years. But
Heavy.
I'm not in a rush. Like my friends, they have like mahogany trees, oak trees, like all these hardwood trees. And they're gonna take 30 plus years, but at the end they're gonna make like $20,000 a tree, and they have hundreds of trees. So it's just like that's another. It's just, there's so much stuff you can do with your
land and
time.
stuff and time, yeah.
Like because it all takes time. And
Interesting typical sound at this time of night in
Oh,
Brazil is the dog fight.
Yeah.
How does that kind of do you feel like you have like a long view of time?
me,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not in a rush for anything. Like I know there's a sense of urgency. Like yeah, you can miss an opportunity or this and that. So you should always be on it and aware of what's happening around you. But then like at the same time, I'm not trying to rush anything. Like I just watched this thing last night from the Laura in the house at Itaka House, and it's like the thing with wear sunscreen. I don't know if anybody's seen that video, but that was the first time seeing it. And it's just like, it doesn't matter if you're this age, where you're at, here and there. Just take your own road, and just go with that. You just gotta believe in yourself. Like I didn't believe that I could, in 8 months of producing music, me and my friends would have an entire album out. I didn't know that would happen. I didn't think that I would even be in the top 24. Like, not that I didn't believe in the fact, but who could have known? Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to rush it. Like.
You seem like a guy. You seem like a guy that's so you're not rushing it, but you seem to be getting there. Like, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I've always thought about it in my life, like, it just speak it into existence. That's the biggest. That's one of the things. Like I watch a lot of interviews of my favorite artists, my favorite boogie boarders,
Yeah.
people that I look up to, like actors and whatnot, and a lot of them are really adamant about just being confident in your ability and just being aware of the strengths and weaknesses you have, and then just go out and do it. Like, go and talk to that person, go and say hello, you know, all this stuff. Just like, you can, like you said, I'm gonna win the contest. I don't believe that you couldn't win the contest, you know.
Thanks, Pat.
Like, that's the thing, like, it's all possible, and that's what, like, I tell a lot of the people at home who say, like, oh, they're stuck in this, or like the struggle, and I'm like, yeah, we all have the struggle, you know, but like, you really just gotta get up and do something about it if you want to get to a place.
Is this like, because I wanted to dive into the culture on the Big Island a little bit here, and I feel like we're getting into that a little bit. Like, so, like, are you a bit of a unicorn on the Big Island? Of, you know, you got this positivity.
Unicorn.
Yeah, you know, like a rare mythical beast that, you know, you don't see very often.
Definitely keep to myself.
Yeah, but are people more getting dragged down by the stresses of the world and the struggle, like, oh, the whole world's against me, and how can I do anything big? Like, are there a lot of people kind of suffering this on the Big Island as well?
I would say that it's like, I used to surround myself with people who would always talk about like their downs and stuff like that, but like, I see it every day, like, more and more. Like, I work on the storefront of Hilo. Like, we have one street that goes down the front of Hilo, and it's called Kamehameha Avenue, and there's just like more and more homeless people, more and more people asking for money, you know. Like, I don't know if they're being flown in from the mainland, like other states, because it's warm there all year long.
I've heard about this phenomenon. Is it actually a thing? Is it a real thing?
I think that it is a real thing.
Yeah,
like, people,
I've heard this.
like the psych wards, the hospitals, you know, like the detainment facilities or whatever, or even just like family members, like, be like, hey, like, you can live here all year round, like, because every other places get cold in the winter.
You can be homeless all year in Hawaii. It's okay.
Yeah, and kind of like the way we are in Hawaii, people take care of people, you know, so they can, like, there's fruit trees everywhere. People can go to the gas station and get like $5 in a day and just buy, like, people are helpful to people around in Big Island, you know. Like, we all pretty much try to
look after each other.
Yeah, because it's a small place. Like, I thought of this the other day, like, I'm not nice, or what is it? I was like, I'm not a nice person because it's not that I'm gonna see you every single day, it's because I'm gonna see me every day. You know, I'm not gonna, like, I have to deal with that. That's my reality at home. Like, a lot of people live on big continents and they might just be like, oh, fuck that guy, you know? But then in the reality, it's like, you're gonna have to live with that, what you did, you know? And I see people every single day when I'm driving. Like, you gotta think about other people in this life, especially on a small island. Even like, other people have smaller islands where they're from, you know? You could be driving, like, you're driving on the same roads. You're going to the same stores. You're going this and that. Like, you could just, like, your best friend's house could be next to your grandma's house or something like that, you know? Stuff like that. We're all really connected there, and yeah, that's what I've noticed. I've been kind of in the middle of like I've been in the real, like, hood, you know, places in Hawaii, and then I've also been in the real rich places. So it's like my whole life I've kind of been in the middle, and I've got the perspective of both. Yeah. And I've used that to my advantage to the point where it's like, okay, I've been there, don't want to do that. I've been to the rich, you know, snobby, whatever. I'm not quite about that either. I'm just kind of, I'm gonna do my, I'm gonna do my thing, planting my fruits, making my music, and just traveling the world. Like, even I was talking to my friends. I was like, even if there was no APV, I would still make sure that I go and do a trip and document it. It might be even a little bit like of a movie sort of thing too, you know, like make a short film.
Well, you guys last year, you started to do that, right? The Hawaiian Boys, you had your little crew last year, right? I saw you in Ikike. And you were doing clips the whole way around.
Exactly. We would surf for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The next person comes in.
I know, it was like a full rotation at the beach.
We had a rotation. You know, there's always the frustrations too, and the waves are sick. Like, you're the first person that has to sit on the beach. And then, so, like, sometimes I just take that one for the team. Like, you know, we really need footage. Okay, I'll just sit here for 30 minutes, and then you come in and
I'd rather be the first guy.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about having to go in.
Exactly.
So, yeah, like, in Ikike was a great experience. We all freaking had an amazing time. Me and Sammy are really looking forward to going back there.
Me too. I'm really looking forward to that place.
I love
man.
that wave Colegio, though, right?
Man, there's so many waves there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like,
psyched.
it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
Well, shit, we covered a lot of good things. What else did I want to talk about? What did I want to talk about? Well, the funny thing you're saying about, like, you've seen the rich people in Hawaii, and you kind of weren't that into that, but like, a lot of those rich people lost their homes recently, or this time last year, right? Like, that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Did it mostly hit the rich homes, or was it kind of, it
kind
actually
of
took out everyone?
A mixture.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in Hawaii, you can buy a pretty cheap lot, like an
Yeah.
acre, maybe 2 acres, 3
Yeah.
acres, whatever size. We have like giant, like as a land surveyor, I'm lucky to go
yeah.
around and like I survey the entire island pretty much. So
Just
like,
1 second, GoPro's
Yeah.
died on us again. Let's see if we can get that guy fired up before we continue. Have we run out of battery? Oh no, here it comes.
nice.
Ah,
It
full
is-
SD card.
Oh.
Okay, that's going to be the end of the video content, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Continue with the audio.
Yeah,
So